Hi, Jeff Spira here again. And one of my customers named Iain Neish, or Neish, I think it's Neish, just sent me this great video of his home-built Puchie special Garvey Dory that he's using actually for farming in the island of Bali. So they're actually doing seafood farming, and it's pretty interesting. I'd love you to take a look at it.
Hello, my name is Iain Neish, and I'm an adaptive phyconomist, a seaweed farmer. I come from Nova Scotia in Canada, and I've spent my entire life since I was a kid working in small boats in inshore waters around the world. I've been working in Southeast Asia now for more than 40 years. Now, there are a lot of interesting boats out here, but a lot of them are not very seaworthy and are not capable of the kind of work that needs to be done on our seaweed farms. So for a long time, I've been looking for a vessel that would fit into our farming operations, and I came across what I think will be an excellent choice on the website of Jeff Spira. And you're looking at the home page of that here. Now I zeroed in on the Garvey Dories, and the largest one available at the time that I ordered was the Puchie Special. So this is what I picked, and this is how the concept drawing looks for it, and this is what the study plan looks like. So I ordered a set of plans. I converted them to metric because that's what everybody uses here, well, and in most of the world outside the USA. And I also stretched the boat 10%, and it would have a length overall of about 8 meters. Now I see that Jeff has another larger Garvey Dory model that's about this size as well. Anyway, so I want to discuss a bit about how does this boat fit into the Bali Sea fishing, aquaculture, and seaweed farming scene that we operate in. This is our seaweed processing factory in Bali, and on the ground you can see some of our material drying under the sun, and we are surrounded by shrimp farms. This factory has just commenced operation recently. It is located a couple of hundred meters from an ocean foreshore where there are pearl oyster farms, there are fish farms, there's all kinds of fishing going on, and here is the anchorage for our boats. In Bali there are thousands upon thousands of these small dugout boats called jukung. They have outriggers. A lot of them are fiberglass nowadays. And a lot of people enjoy racing these around Bali Strait. These are not really work boats. These guys are out having fun on a weekend. This guy, on the other hand, is using his jukung for his seaweed farm. This guy's a pretty good sailor with that crab claw sail, And he is towing a canoe loaded with seaweed that is heading out to the farm to be planted. But this is how we want to farm. This is our mother ship, the Sea Combine 1, which we had fabricated in Bali a couple of years ago. And that boat, as well as the Secotech boat that we're here to discuss, its mission is to handle what we call ladder rafts, seaweed rafts, such as the ones that are shown here. And down below you see a jukung working the rafts with its outriggers getting in the way. So, along the shorelines of the Bali Strait, there are many kilometers of this type of seaweed farm, and they produce a good income for local people. But we want to introduce a certain amount of mechanization that reduces the drudge labor involved in seaweed farming by use of equipment such as the harvester that you just saw and this planting machine. Machines like this will go on the Secotech boat that we just built. So, we move on to construction of the Secotech boat. Here you see our boat builder, who is known as Chuck, checking timber that has just arrived for construction of the boat. Note that this is teak. Teak wood is farmed in Indonesia, not too far from where we built this boat. Now the stock does not arrive already cut to dimensions, so it's necessary to make your own 2x4s or whatever it is that you need. Here we have the strongback going up, ready to get moving on setting up the frames that Chuck has already been building. Here the keelson has been installed and the shear clamps and chine logs are going on. Transom in position, and plywood is starting to get laid to the bottom of the boat, as well as being put on the sides and trimmed. We need some big hinges for that large bow door, so these have already been fabricated at this point. And the fiberglass starts to go on with the epoxy. In this case, we couldn't get the 6-ounce cloth that is recommended by Jeff Spira. Instead, we used a layer of mat and a layer of roving on the bottom. And we just used roving on the sides. Here, everything is being trimmed and sanded. We're laying some rub strips on the bottom of the boat, coat of paint, just prior to flipping the boat. Here we have a cradle with some wheels on it that is to be used on flipping day. And here is the boat hanging in the air, ready to flip. The flipping process was accomplished with the use of a single 2-ton chain block. Here we have the hull already suspended above the strongback, ready for action. So we remove the strongback and set that aside for the next boat, and starting to roll her over. Here she's on the cradle, a little iffy there, but it came out okay. You see that the boat builder's kind of relieved at that. And the hull settles down on the wheeled cradle for further action. So here we get our first look at the boat in an upright position, ready for interior finishing. At the same time, we pick up our brand new Yamaha 40 horsepower 2-stroke motor. We frame in the transom area where that will go shortly. And we start to lay the deck as well as the bulkheads. These are totally sealed in FRP roving and epoxy. Here we see the motor in place, and Chuck putting steps on the transom to make it easier for old guys like me to climb into this boat. Here Chuck is working on the bow door, testing it for action. And then we see final paint going on prior to the launch. So after 7 weeks of building, the boat is finally ready to head off over some rough terrain to the sea. This was accomplished by a lot of enthusiastic guys who did a lot of showdown on the way. So we're on the beach, getting ready to try this boat for the first time. This bow door rig is a temporary one. We have chain blocks that are going in there. The bow door needs to be very strong because we are using it as a work platform, not just as a way of getting on and off the boat. So here we are pulling up the bow door by its temporary ropes as we get ready and fire up the engine for the very first time, which it does in about 3 pulls. It turned out that little 40-horse motor drove the boat along very nicely at a cruising speed of 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. So here I am, ending another day at the office. You can see that this boat gets up in planes very readily. Jeff Spira definitely got the curvature of the bottom exactly right on this boat. And it's a fairly sizable boat for a 40-horse motor, but it moves along really well. We still have some work to do before our Sea-Tech boats are ready to take the place of the types of vessel that you see in the picture below. To begin with, we're installing a top to ward off the sun and the rain, something light along the lines of a bimini top. Secondly, we must properly rig the bow door / work platform. because not only will we be rolling loads of up to a ton across this bow door, but it must also be extended for use as a work platform when we are out tending the farm. So we're going to do a shakedown cruise around farm locations within the next couple of weeks. Then we're going to do a weight and balance test. And finally, we're going to install and operate the Sea Combine machinery that enables us to mechanize seaweed farming. So stay tuned.
Okay, well, I hope you were as impressed as I am. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and all that, and I'll be back with you again soon. Thank you for watching.